Attention gamers. Outside of sex bots with big titty PFPs, there's been a severe uptick in commenters on my videos who seem to misunderstand the purpose of my content by oh so graciously announcing that they can't enjoy a video unless it is of gameplay at the highest of ranks, and obviously after marinating in the turbo virginity piss pit of useless anger better known as the League of Legends community, you can tell these comments are messing with my head as I have been taking my rank climb extremely seriously, by playing Kennen ADC. But before you diaper-equipped dick pimples have something to say about it, I wouldn't judge this book by its cover too fast. Anyways, in a recent game it was revealed at the end that someone who I absolutely embarrassed revealed that they are a master Smurf, which basically means I'm doing Riot's job of killing Smurfs better than they are, and thus this is the story of how a Smurf got shit on in a silver game. Alright you sly cucks, no sponsor in this one, which is good news for you but bad for me, but what's even badder is my support. And by baddie I don't mean boner provoking, but rather this dumb hoe took one look at the enemy bot lane getting level 2 before us and proceeded to walk straight into the wave in melee range and flat out volunteer as tribute to be first blood. Like, can we take a moment to appreciate the side effects of your mom being a drunk while pregnant with you? Anyways, there are times I hold my tongue, but when you do shit like that I have to make it known that my eyeballs can't unsee such stupidity, to which she of course pointed the finger back at me. That said, I knew we had a gank coming in, so while Karma stood 6 screens behind me I turned myself into an electron and rubbed up on these scrubs, which I thought was surely going to secure some kills, but it only got a few flashes, and while I considered saying close but no cigar, I figured that would strike a sensitive note with Graves and I needed him focused for this counter gank. We get in a standoff as if Kwame over here knows something that we don't, so I'm thinking if it feels like shit and smells like shit it's probably shit, and sure enough a wild Ninetales shows up. Unfortunately for their support no one follows up on his engage, which could be argued as homophobic by today's generation, but long story short it led to him being zapped and the rest of them being forced to flee. Then the silver lining to Karma being an absolute dipshit moron at the beginning of the game is that I sucked up some solo XP, which means my 6th birthday came before all of my peers, which also meant there was a severe thunderstorm in the forecast. I plopped in with my leading argument that Kennen APC isn't half bad, which ended up sending the weekend back to his fountain. This left just the counting psychopath left alone, but I was now out of cooldowns, which is the leading counter argument that Kennen APC is good down here, and I didn't want him getting to 4, so I had to flash stun him so that my icon was on the left side of the kill announcement and not the right. Knock knock dragon, oh dragon who? Dragging these nuts all over 3 of their faces. God damn it, Kennen APC is legitimate vibe when the enemies stack up like flapjacks at a dingy as fuck Denny's. As you can see I'm contemplating going back to lane because my job is done, but then the thought of stealing one more kill keeps me around, and thus you see the leading argument for why my dumbass will never climb, and that is indecisiveness. I come back to lane because for this off-meta bullshit to work I need to farm better than old McDonald or I will be useless and then harassed in my comment section, but then I see Kwame coming in more out of place than a Yamaka at Hitler's house, so I head up there to get front row seats to the feeding festival. Enter argument number F for why I will forever be hard stuck, and it's because I try shit like this in my ranked games when I'm already playing a dumb off-meta pick which goes poorly, but the benefit of being a midget master of elusiveness little ninja is that I can get out of that situation as easy as I got into it. I keep poking the bear because despite popular opinion I do in fact have a support, so when she did show up for her shift it caught Kwame by surprise, so I reached my tiny little hands into the charades hat and pulled out a card that read Kill Hungry Ball of Static Electricity, to which I think I nailed my performance. Then I will have you know that despite not being a proper ADC I was still able to take the first tower of the game, #Kennening. Turns out there was some racial slurs being thrown around on the enemy team directed toward their support, so he decided to go the whole fuck you Jin, you are on your own route, which is music to my little hamster ears as I take the scenic route into lane. You can tell once Counting Dracula saw me he just knew he was capital F flamboyed as I make quick work out of him. But then it gets to the point where I figure I will update the rest of the enemy team on just how fed I am by completely misinterpreting how Avitha Bell will move when aiming my Q, which turned into a situation where because of my height really emasculated me into feeling like the little baby duck following Mama Duck, but luckily Mama Duck got butt blasted into oblivion by Nicotine Nikki right after. I head up top because train conductor Oren says that Captain Jack Sparrow is treating him like a piece of shit, so I say no issues, I deal with this all the time, just push him into tower and then summon the ghost of your dead ancestor and I will bring some electricity to the party. Then I'm thinking free tower until bam, a wild butterfree appears, thinking she is just gonna get in the middle of us and plant her feet so she can go all Mike Tyson sentry tower jab fest, but unfortunately for her that doesn't work well in Storm, so she ends up looking pretty dead. Poor Jin is dealing with the reality that being behind and on the losing team as an ADC is about as fun as having salmonella on a first date, but I could care less, I'm fettuccine alfredo in this bitch, which means no counterplay will be on the table for him. Then a big team fight breaks out near mid lane and it's looking pretty even until I do something that I believe deserves to be shown without commentary for us all to appreciate it. For the first time in as long as I can remember, my own teammates pinged me as a compliment instead of flaming me, voicing their support for my play, thinking briefly that I may be a genius for rocking this pick. While I'm here thinking moments like these are why, despite all of the bullshit and the complaining, I still always find myself coming back to League of Legends. Anyways, Thomas the Tank Engine slave driver found himself more outnumbered than Sophie Rain in a room of women who have dignity. But speaking of getting fucked on camera, check out these kids that grouped up perfectly for the second time as I just let my circle of static do dirty things to them. Killing Belveth resulted in a cheeky legendary call out, and then it was just the Sante of K left over for the rest of my team to get their beaks wet. It was at this point where their team was calling for a 9-player report on their support as he was pleading his case in all chat, which is a meta that I never really understood in League of Legends. Like, why does someone feel the need to treat all chat like their fucking therapist when they are displeased with their own teammates' gameplay? Like, I'm freaking thrilled their caissant sucked absolute ballsack, I could care less about your feelings in all chat as someone on the enemy team. That said, while the team was flaming him, he was up north low key 1v1ing our mid who had 5 levels on him, but unfortunately that level of positioning when the rest of your team isn't doing jack squiddly squat means you will soon get plowed by 6 dudes who have nothing better to do. I call that getting Riley Reeded. But this is where he revealed to the world that he's a master support. And thus Smurf identified as he posted his account credentials as proof, to which I later confirmed by adding him and having him log onto it. After further inspection, it looks like a classic case of a dipshit that can't win in his own rank, so he goes on a Smurf to pad his ego and feel better about himself, until he runs into yours truly. And you may say he's just messing around playing caissant support, and to that I will just say I was playing Ken in ADC. Riot, I will await my recognition for shitting on one of your Smurfs. Rav out.